And that might be really hard to realize, to actually accept when you live with pelvic pain. Welcome to the Pelvic Power Podcast. My name is Penny, and I am the host of this lovely space. I am a pelvic floor yoga teacher who teaches people with pelvic pain how to use movement, breathwork, and body awareness to ease and manage their pain while living a pleasurable life. In this space, we'll be talking about all things taboo because we love it, and how to support your lovely pelvis and your lovely self on this journey that you are on. I am very happy that you are here, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Pelvic Power Podcast. I'm very excited that you are here today. Thank you so much for being here. I am struggling to record this episode today because it's feeling a little bit vulnerable. I don't know what's up with me lately. I'm just feeling very vulnerable in what I'm sharing and how I'm showing up. And I find it a little bit challenging. And I think it's a part of this episode today because when we're on this healing journey that we are on, you know how they say that it's like an onion and then you peel one layer back and then another layer of healing pops up? And being vulnerable for me, that is that is one thing that's showing up for me right now that I need to work on. So I am just gonna click record and then see where this episode takes me and then push it out into the world, and whoever is supposed to hear this will hear this. So welcome. I'm very happy that you are here today. First off, I just want to say that I am very grateful for the space. I'm grateful for all the messages, all the comments, and seeing how you're kind of questioning your life and how you're showing up for yourself, how you are living your life, what you're thinking about your life, and what you're learning. Because it can be kind of challenging depending on where you are on your journey. I was actually talking to a student yesterday, and she was saying that if she didn't live with pelvic pain, she wouldn't be getting to know herself the way that she is right now. She wouldn't be doing the work. And we've spoken about this on the podcast before. I've said, to me, it's kind of I feel privileged to be able to do this work because I think that a lot of people, without any judgment whatsoever, but I also know people in my surroundings, they walk through life and they don't go any deeper. They don't go any deeper. It's just like a line of life. They don't question life. And I find that a little bit challenging. I like to do the deeper work. For me, it's fun. And if I didn't live with pelvic pain, I probably wouldn't, maybe, I don't know, be doing this work, depending on the person that you are. I probably would. I grew up doing the work thanks to my mom, always questioning things, you know? But yeah, so this student was saying that it's it's nice to get to know yourself on a different level. And again, we're all on different journeys here. So as I'm saying this, maybe you are not there. Maybe you just want to fuck this. This is shit, which is totally fine. But I hope you can stick around and maybe you will learn a little bit more about yourself and your inner world and how you're moving through the world. So, today's episode, speaking of healing and that little onion and being vulnerable, you probably felt it yourself. You're probably here because you go to pelvic physio, you do therapy, maybe you see an osteopath. I don't know, maybe you're on your journey and you're noticing things about yourself that make you feel maybe a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe it's a little bit, challenging, feeling all these feelings. You have your inner child poking out, you have old traumas coming up, and you're like, oh, where did that feeling come from? Why am I feeling that way about myself in all of this? And I want you to know you're not alone. It's fucking hard. It is so fucking hard. But there's this saying that if your friend was talking shit about themselves, they were judging themselves, they were, downing themselves, doubting themselves, would you love them any less? No, you wouldn't. So they always say that love yourself as you would love your friend or your sister or your family member or whatever that may be. But I've started to twist it a little bit, like flip it around a little bit for my inner child and the journey that I am on right now. So I'm going to read you something out of my journal. this was something that I jotted down the other day. So I said, how does a person act that loves themselves? We are in this space. I am very much into personal development, manifestation, and they often say that show up as the person that you want to be, or how would that person act in response to something that might have come up in life. And keep in mind too, throughout all of the things that we're going through life, what you're seeing in other people, you're probably seeing in yourself too. So instead of thinking, okay, how would I treat my friend if they were saying these things about themselves, or they were doubting themselves, if they felt like they weren't worthy, especially in the space we live with pelvic pain. Maybe you're feeling that you're not worthy of love, intimacy, or friendship, or whatever that may be for you. If your friend were to say that to you, what would you say to them? Instead, how can you show up as a person that loves themselves? And yes, this concept may be hard. It may be challenging. We're out here. We're doing years of work, baby. One thing that I've started to do is just hug myself. I like to pretend like I'm hugging my inner child when I'm going through like really intense emotions. What do I need right now? What is my inner child craving? Why am I feeling these feelings? If that's worthiness or comparisonitis or judgment. Okay, what is my inner child maybe craving right now? But I'm going to read you something else out of my journal. And this is where the vulnerable part comes in. So I wrote some stuff when I was little. That sounded a little bit weird. I'm talking about poetry here. I think my mom has a one of my very first poetry books, and I'm trying to like really hone into, okay, what is Penny like? What is inner Penny really like? That's why I've gone back to the color pink. I think I I drifted away from pink for a while because it was just too childish or something, but I've come to realize that pink makes me fucking happy, and it's a happy color to me. So I'm going with pink, but also what are some other things that I like to do or have in my life when I was younger? So I sat down and I wrote a little poem, and I'm going to share that with you today. And this is really hard. So thank you for being here. Let's see if I can read this, because when I tend to scribble in my journal, I cannot see what I've scribbled. This is also a thing. If you're doing a yoga practice and you feel like you have a lot of things coming up, just scribble. Scribble on a page, baby. Let that be a part of the process too. How does a person act when they love themselves? Do they smile at themselves in the mirror? Do they show themselves grace when life feels challenging? Do they stay open when all they want to do is close themselves in fear of the world actually seeing them? Loving yourself is a responsibility to the small light person inside of you, the person that has existed since your very first breath. And I'm actually pretty proud of that one. So I've really been playing around with the concept of, okay, looking at my inner child, a little teeny tiny Penny, Pernilla, if you may, because that's actually my name, Pernilla, and looking at her and the love that she needs, or the protection that she needs, the support that she needs. How can I show up with that in mind every single day? And we've been talking about showing up for yourself when you live with pelvic pain a lot recently, and how you can do that. And it's like the small things too. Okay, little Penny needs to rest today. Little Penny needs to cry today. Little Penny needs to watch Dirty Dancing because it makes her happy again, going back to things that made me happy when I was younger. Or little Penny just needs to go out and put her freaking feet on the earth because it makes me feel connected to something bigger than myself. And that also gives me a little bit of perspective. But how is she showing up? How is she caring for the space that she lives in? How does she feel when she goes to bed at night? Things like that. I'm really starting to dive into that. And I invite you to do the same if this aligns with you. How would you be acting if you truly, truly loved yourself and you knew your worth? How would you be acting? And not to put it in like a stressful state when it comes to manifestation. I'm just weaving everything into one little thing here right now. But when it comes to manifestation or like tapping into something that is higher, like your higher self, that is easier when you're coming from a parasympathetic response instead of a sympathetic response when you're rested, digested, you're receiving. So just really taking a step back. Okay, I need to rest today. And that's you loving yourself. I need to go for a 10-minute walk today, even if it's really hard. And also the inner child thing and just checking in with yourself. What if that is actually also connected to your intuition? If you start to slow down, which is spoken about, instead of rushing around, if you slow down, is it easier for you to hear your intuition and what your inner world needs instead of just rushing around? Yesterday, I was on my phone really late. I signed up for dating apps. Yep, I'm back on the dating apps, baby. It's summer. I just got a fresh new hot haircut. I'm like, I need to get out there. I just had surgery. I need to get out there. I am I am really giving you all of my vulnerability today. But I was on the dating apps and I was messaging some people and I was on the phone really, really late. And then when I went to bed, I felt really not regulated. Because one, I was on my phone really late. Two, what am I trying to accomplish here? I'm trying to get laid. That's what we're trying to do. Or no, I'm trying to make out with people. I just love a good makeout session. I swear, there's nothing hotter than a really nice makeout session. I feel like people aren't making out enough. We need to make out a little bit more. But I just felt like I didn't spend that time with myself before I went to bed. Reading, journaling, breathing, whatever that may be. That is actually one of the things that I'm working on right now to just like be with myself more in like silence and stillness and just receiving. I don't know where I was going with that, but I felt like I wasn't attending to my inner child last night the way that I could have. So, how did I actually tend to myself and my inner world yesterday and could have done a better job at that without any judgment whatsoever? But I'm taking that with me till tonight. I'm gonna put my phone away earlier, play with Tay, read my book. I'm starting a new book today, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, just slowing down, taking time to focus more on me, how I'm showing up for myself, and my love. So when you're on this journey and you're peeling back the layers of your onion, can you be a little bit gentle with yourself? And there may be things coming up for you that feel challenging. And how can you show yourself a little bit more grace in that and also show up as the person that you are and that you love? Because you're worthy of all the things. You're worthy of intimacy, of love, of all the all the showering of love that you could ever possibly get. You're worthy of all the friendship, all the kindness, all the compassion. You're worthy of all the strength. You're worthy of it all just by breathing. And that might be really hard to realize, to actually accept when you live with pelvic pain. And I just want you to know that I'm here holding your hand. I'm virtually holding your hand. You are not alone on this journey. And some of us have been on this journey for so long. And it takes courage to do the work that we are doing. So I think you should be really proud of yourself for continuing to show up, for doing the work, for inviting in the movement, for listening to the podcast, for going online, searching for things that may help you feel a lot more aligned with who you want to be and who you know that you are. And you are a person that is worthy of love. So can you start by loving yourself a little bit more? Maybe you can think of a couple things that you can do today as someone that really loves themselves. On that note, I hope that you are really enjoying your life right now because it's summer. I love summer. I feel like it just flies by. I'm actually going to Greece in a month, and I can't believe it. I'm hosting my 2 Greece retreats in a month. It's so weird to me because I remember when we started planning this, it was like a year ago, and now it's only a month away. What are the odds? What are the odds? So I'm hoping that you're enjoying life, that you are doing something for yourself. Go out, put your feet on the earth, do some beautiful little yoga stretches. If you're looking for things to do, come join us in the Pelvic Health Yoga membership. Live and on-demand classes made for you who live with pelvic pain. You will get more time with us to connect, to heal, to ponder. It is absolutely freaking fantastic. But until next week, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. If you love this episode, I will be so grateful if you could leave a rate and review in your podcast app. It would mean so much to me. If you're tuning in on YouTube, feel free to hit subscribe and leave a little comment down below about what you learned about yourself today. Thank you so much, and you have no idea how much I appreciate you for being here.